Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Meister Tarot. Today I'm going to do a little bit of a some mop-up readings that I've been meaning to do for a while in regards to US politics. I was a bit surprised that, I was actually quite surprised that Katie Britt got the primary vote for Alabama, because I had read on her. Now, I didn't read on Mo Brooks. I read on Katie Britt several weeks ago, and the cards I got for her were absolutely awful. She was the Trump contender, the Trump-backed contender after Trump switched horses midfield, as he wants to do after a falling out with Mo back in March. There were a total of what I got was, so from what I understand, they go through an initial voting where all the candidates are on the ballot. Then the top two go through to a second round, and that was Katie and Mo, of which Katie got 64% of the votes from 166,000 Republicans. She will be up against the Democrat Will Boyd. He got similar figures. It was, I think, 63% of the primary vote out of 150,000 Democrats. So there's more Republicans and Democrats that voted in that particular round. Don't know a lot about Will Boyd. Don't know a lot about Katie Britt either. Will Boyd, degree in engineering, masters in business studies, has run in a few elections, for example, for the governorship, unsuccessfully from what I gather. So what I want to do is I want to have a look at both of them this time. So I'll look at both because the cards I got for Katie Britt when I didn't read on Mo, I just read on Katie to see how she went in the elections. Absolutely atrocious cards. I got the heartbreak and disappointment, the money juggling, the money laundering, the just awful cards. So I didn't think that she would get through, but she did. So I'm going to have a look at both Britt and Boyd in regards to here's Trump backing her. However, still only up to the 5th January the 6th hearing. Oh, isn't that mind-boggling? Yes, it happened on Friday afternoon, Australian time, which is why I read on it yesterday. But it's very head-spitting. Anyhow, so I want to have a look at, okay, this card's being held close to the chest, and I got this actually when I read on Katie in regards to how she'd go in the election, thinking in my mind it was against Mo, that there was a lot of information that was going to come forward, a lot of messages are going to come forward in regards to Katie. So, Meister, tell me how Katie Britt, Alabama, will go in the midterms, Alabama midterms. Katie Britt, Alabama midterms. Katie Britt, Alabama midterms. Oh, Meister. Katie Britt, Alabama midterms. I'm seeing, okay, these just flung out at me. It's telling me that her run for government will be paused for some reason. Okay, tell me further, Meister. Katie Britt, midterms. Katie Britt, November, midterms. Thank you. Okay, sometimes it takes a while to shuffle the cards up for me. What have we got? Oh, government's popped up again. There are plans occurring. Sorry, I'll just bring those down. Got this card again. Insecurity, holding on to money. The Chariot, things are going to be a bit chaotic and quick. And the Tower card. There is something that's going to come forward really quickly. Yeah, these are very similar to the cards that I got last time for her. Different cards, but similar. Okay, so what I've got here is this is her run for government, the Hierophant, her run for government. There is something being looked into in regards to overseas, potentially. I think I got the Russia card from her last time. I'll have to have a look and revisit those cards. But there is a plan in the wings that's coming to fruition. It's about money, insecurity of money, playing secrecy about money, and then we've got the Chariot. There's a message that's going to come forward really quickly that's going to lead. I mean, you don't get any more downfall cards than those two. Base of the pack, money, following the money trail again, and disappointment. Disappointment. So I'm still not getting it for Katie. I'm still not getting. So whether there is something that's going to come out in the woodwork in regards to Katie Britt, I don't know. We'll just have to watch that. But tell me about Will Boyd. Tell me about... Now, someone in the US tell me, if she is disqualified as the candidate, does the second candidate get through? Don't know. So if something comes, so again, not good cards for Katie Britt. Tell me about Will Boyd. Two major arcana just leapt out at me, sorry. Temperance, which is moderation, of balance, calm, and the Magician, which is all about he's got all the tools available to him. He can use them for good or bad, but it is manifesting possibilities of. Now, looking up, Alabama used to be a Democratic state up until the 1970s, and then it switched to Republican. But I think what happened is that really around the 1970s, the two parties switched their core morals, their ethics, because the Republicans used to be the Progressive Party, and the Democrats used to be the holding back party. But I suspect that they've around the 1970s is when they switched, and that's when Alabama switched. The major cities of Alabama are Democrat. The rural areas holding the balance of power are very red areas, which is usually the way. A lot of the rural areas only get Fox News. Interesting how that's going to go. Really do need one of these other networks to broadcast into these areas. Surprised that they don't. Anyhow, tell me about Will Boyd, Democrat, midterms for Alabama. Oh, so Alabama will reap what they sow. Tell me about Will Boyd. Tell me about Will Boyd. Democrat, midterms, Alabama, Will Boyd. Using different cards for him. Thank you, Master. Let's have a look at Will Boyd. Queen of Cups. Okay, Queens, feminine energy. It's going to be the women. It's going to be, so this is surprisingly, because obviously Katie Britt is a female, but in Alabama it's going to be the women, a surprise by the women that will change the election. So in this particular deck, she doesn't have the lid on the cup, but if you have a look at the cup itself, it has some fabulous light energy coming out of it. She is a calm, compassionate, feminine energy, and this is really indicating to me that it's going to be the women of Alabama that I think it's going to be the women US-wide, but in Alabama are going to step forward. Now that's interesting because Will Boyd, obviously a bloke, he's also a African-American candidate in a deep south area, but we'll keep going. The Emperor, which is the patriarchal, Knight of Pentacles, Hierophant again, government, King of Wands, the lawmakers, Six of Swords, the truth moving on. We then had Death as well, but I think what this is cut, and then the Sun. Very much, and then we have, sorry, I'm getting a little bit you know me, I like to keep going with the story. The Knight of Swords, bringing the harsh truth coming forward. So what I'm getting here is that we've got this Queen of Cups energy. Very much the feminine energy of Alabama is going to make the decision. Now, none of these are bad cards compared to Katie Britt, who got the Tower and the Ten of Swords, etc., etc. These are, and the insecurity and the hanging on to the money and the plotting card. These are actually really good cards. But what I'm seeing here is the feminine energy is going to make the choice over the patriarchal. Now, the patriarchal, the Emperor, he can be Trump, but it is basically any my way or the highway male, which is not all Southern gents are like that, but it is a Southern culture in certain areas, especially the rural, where the man rules. But we have this Knight of Pentacles. Now, occasionally he means the mercenary, depending on what I'm reading on. He can be the knight that works for money, but he's also the slow, steady, diligent, loyal, forward-moving, progressive knight. So what I'm seeing is that this feminine energy, this knight is going to engage in the feminine energy and pentacles are very much dream big and work hard, very much a progressive energy in the positive against this patriarchal. And then we have the government and the lawmakers as outcome, not as a signifier. So Katie had the Hierophant as the signifier and then ghastly cards underneath. Mo's got this lovely signifier card. Not Mo. Will Boyd has got this lovely signifier card with the outcome being government, lawmakers. And then we have to continue the story. The truth is going to, and it is a female in this boat, moving forward into a calmer, more stable. The truth is going to move them forward as there is authentic reform, as there is everything's coming to light and there is joy and there is brilliance and there is excitement. But the harsh truth is coming to light that's going to lead to authentic reform. So at this stage, the energies are telling me to call it. We've got base of the pack, wish fulfillment. The Page of Wands, which is a setting out on a new journey, a new start with a really important message. King of Swords, who is the truth makers, the magician, manifesting possibilities, the Page of Pentacles, again, new journey, setting out on a new journey, dreaming big, working hard. He's got the Ace of Pentacles in his hands. And then we have Justice, actions and consequences. So at this stage, barring anything else, I think Katie Britt's going to find, and I keep thinking, I keep getting told that Alabama is going to be, now it's not the bellwether state as in that it will decide the full election. I think that's Florida and Pennsylvania. But it is the bellwether state in regards to the change in attitudes. So I'm actually really positive about that. We shall see. At this stage, the energies are telling me that it's there's something Katie's going to really struggle. There's something that's going to come out that's going to be her undoing. Okay, enough of Alabama politics. What I want to have a quick look at is Weisselberg. Now, Weisselberg was Trump's accountant. I just pulled the deck out. Complete and utter downfall. Weisselberg was the Trump org accountant. He's going to court in August. Now, I didn't even look up to see what the court case is about. I probably should. I just have heard along the grapevine that he has been taken to court. Now, I have read in the past that he will flip on Trump at the last minute. His kids are being, he and his family, his children, are being investigated for receiving monies illegally, etc., or gifts illegally, or however it is. He is still standing firm, but I have read on the past in him that he will flip on Trump. There are 2 sets of books for Trump org, and that Weisselberg will basically expose all. So let's have a look. I should probably pause and have a look and see what this court case is, but I'm sure one of you will let me. If I don't know, I can't influence the cards at all. So tell me about Weisselberg, the Trump accountant who knows all, will be going to court in August. Just tell me about Weisselberg. Tell me about Weisselberg in regards to Trump org. Tell me about Weisselberg in regards to Trump org, please, Master. Weisselberg in regards to Trump org. Weisselberg in regards to Trump org. Weisselberg in regards to Trump. Oh, what is... Oh! Okay. I don't quite know where to start with these, the ones that flew out. Okay. Lies, deception, abuse of power, stealing the truth, all sorts of, that sort of insidious. Often it has the fox and in other decks in it, but it is literally making off with the truth into the night, but it is about abuse of power and lies. He is at a crossroads. Weisselberg, he hasn't made the decision yet. I have read that he's going to flip, but he's still wrangling with it himself. He needs to take the blindfold off. He has the moon behind him. He has the water of calm behind him. He's got the 2 swords of truth in his hands. He is at a truth crossroads, and he hasn't made a decision yet in regards to this contracts and agreements he had. There's some sort of contract and agreement. He is going to find it emotionally overwhelming, however, and he will expose the muck coming out to be illuminated. in regards to Russia, in regards to the money. He is going to have to defend himself. So what's he going? He's going to find that he's going to have to defend himself. He is actually going to find himself, surprise, surprise, this is about moral corruption. But he's going to have to defend himself, but he's going to find himself out in the cold. He's going to be thrown under the bus by Trump. I mean, do these people not learn? He has a history of it. This is the Emperor. He is going to be thrown under the bus by Trump. The harsh truth is going to come out, and then we have the Justice card. So this is what's in store for Weisselberg, is that he's just going to, as everybody else who has worked for Trump but is no longer useful or knows information that Trump doesn't want to come out, all of a sudden Trump doesn't know them. No, don't know that guy. Weisselberg? Who's he? But he's going to be discarded. Discarded, no longer relevant by Trump. But we've got this harsh truth coming out, and then justice. So, I'm going to ask again. I've asked it before, but I will ask it again. Will Weisselberg flip on Trump? Will Weisselberg, because I don't so much see Trump going down because of the election fraud lies, I mean, you know, he was pressuring the DOJ to back him that there had been fraud, even though they kept saying that there was no evidence of fraud. He kept pressuring them, and everything he put forward to Donahue, Rosen and Engel were knocked out of the park as to being incorrect or not legal, but he kept pushing at that. I have never seen Trump going down because of the bastardry that took place in his while he was president, but I do see him going down because of Trump org. So, as much as we'd like to see him go down because of his presidency corruption, I see it as Trump all taking him out. Anyhow, so tell me about, will Weisselberg flip on Trump? At this stage, he's standing firm and still deciding, but August is a little ways off yet. Will Weisselberg flip on Trump? Will Weisselberg flip on Trump? Here's the investigators. They've got so much evidence about the Trump org. But tell me, will Weisselberg flip on Trump? Will Weisselberg flip on Trump? Okay. They're determined to throw the cards at me today, Meister, so I shall take what I am given and go through it. There is something, a bombshell that's going to be revealed. There is something that is going to be revealed which is inevitable, and it will bring about an inevitable ending. And then we have this Queen of Pentacles. Wonder if she's the so she is, you know, the powerful feminine figure. I think it's Letitia James who is overseeing this case to start with, but whether there are other female lawyers in regards to this. Oh, okay. Sorry, I just turned over the next card at the top of the deck. It is a female that is going to present all this evidence in regards to the money that is going to lead to the downfall of the king. It's going to be a case of reaping what he sows. So there is going to be, so that's not Weisselberg, obviously, but there is going to be some feminine energy, female figure that is going to bring down Trump. I'm just having a look at the base of the pack. I've got the mercenary, which was Weisselberg. He will be made an offer. This is the 2 sets of books. The dark money, the money laundering, disappointment, and then we have this the wise cat that sees all. She is the lawmakers, again, feminine energy, and this is Weisselberg flipping. So he's going to be made. They're going to have information. They're going to make him an offer, and he's going to present up the 2 sets of books, or there's a hidden agenda there. The 2 sets of books. Okay, enough of Weisselberg. Who are we going to have a quick look at now? I want to have a quick look at will the GOP actually split? And then that'll do us for today. And tomorrow I might get on to these international questions that I've been trying to get to for weeks. Assuming nothing happens between now and then. Okay. Tell me about the GOP. Will the Conservative GOP split from the Radical GOP? Will the Republicans split to become 2 parties? I'm not putting a timeline on it. Will the Republicans, because you've got the moderate Republicans that are watching what's going on on the January 6th hearings and going, OMG. And then you have the radical Republicans that are going, not watching it, but still claiming they did nothing wrong. This is how we need to do, what is it, Brighton the Crichton in, wherever he is. I read on him the other day. Missouri, with, they're the radicals. They're the radicals. Cruz, DeSantis. But you have the moderates. Cheney, Romney. So will the GOP end up, the Republican Party end up splitting into moderates and extremists? Will the Republican Party end up splitting into 2 parties, moderates and extremists? Will the Republicans end up splitting into 2 parties? Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot did a fabulous reading on Trump for the next 6 months. If you head over to her page to have a look. And Cash Peters also did a fabulous reading on the future of democracy in the US. Will the GOP end up splitting into 2 parties, moderates and radicals? Will the GOP end up splitting into 2 parties, moderates and radicals? Okay, we'll race through this as we're nearly at the half hour. Okay. Try and push you back a little bit there. Ace of Wands, a really strong new beginning, passionate beginning, passionate plans, careers, communications, getting whacked over the head with it, new beginning. Crossed by the Page of Swords. So this is the not super strong signifier cards yet. I mean, the Ace is a strong card, but nothing particularly groundbreaking at the moment. But the Page of Swords is he's the harbinger of the truth. He's bringing forward the sword of truth as they head out on a new path, in a new direction, on a new journey. He's also the spy in the camp, the whistleblower, etc. So we'll see where this leads us. Sorry if the light's a bit bright. The sword is forcing the GOP, so the base of this reading is wounded in retreat, needing to retreat to recover, time out. The truth is causing the GOP to just retreat. Oh, and here. But this is the past. The devil energy is the past for the GOP. Now, I have said before, and I'll say it again, the radicals, even though we still call them Trumpsters and Trump thinks they belong to him, they don't. The radicals have moved way beyond Trump. He has become irrelevant to them. He gave them permission to be who they truly are, but he is no longer the force that he believes he is. So this devil energy is in the past, but let's see where it goes for us. The King of Coins, crowning the reading. I'm not seeing this as Trump. I'm seeing this as a new figure come out who, it's all about the money, it's all about the capitalization, the wealth for the rich, but he's, so beware. So this is Trump in the past, but beware this mentor figure who is all about the money. Right, the question was, will they split? Reap what you sow is the immediate future. Again, the money, but it's about reviewing the harvest, reviewing the situation, not being particularly happy with what's come out of it. And it is about reaping what you sow. Okay, externally. Sorry, I'll lift that up slightly. Oh, got my winter cough. I do apologise. My winter froggy throat. Externally. I don't think I need to explain any more on that. Internally, they are at the end of a cycle. They are finding themselves at the end. Hopes and fears. The Empress. Abundance. Bringing forth new life. Also my Russia card, but I'm not talking about any Russia connections here today. Wealth abundance. Okay, the outcome. Circles of support, celebration, an offer being made, disappointment, loss and outcast, things happening quickly, and a new beginning. Okay, I'm going to so karma coming back and biting them on the bum. Destiny. The destiny will be the breaking down of the GOP as it is and rebuilding. So what I'm seeing here is that the various factions are going to come together. They're going to work amongst themselves and make an offer. There's going to be an emotional plea, a message, a moving forward, a message moving forward of an emotional relationship offer. There's going to be an emotional relationship offer that's going to lead to the disappointment and heartbreak and discarding. Okay, thank you, Master. I was trying to think of what word. Discarding out into the cold of those that have become this money obsessed. They are moving forward with this change, new beginnings, destiny. They've realised that their destiny has changed and they will break down the old system to rebuild something new that is stronger. base of the pack is we have the Moon card, the murky, seedy underbelly being brought to the surface to be exposed by justice. Actions and consequences. And then we have this cooperation card with messages coming forward very quickly. There is going to be this partisan infighting, but the voter will prevail. The voter will prevail. So what I'm seeing is, whether it's out of this January 6th commission or quite what, is those that those in the GOP that found them. Okay, thank you, Master. Those that absorbed themselves into this murky underbelly, this money, this bribery, this corruption, are going to find themselves actually discarded by the GOP, and the GOP is going to rebuild itself new. The current version of the GOP is at an end. It's going to find itself facing a complete and utter downfall and realising that it is at an end in its current form. And so therefore the factions, or those that actually support the moderate GOP, it's all about relationships and emotions and working together, are going to find that they're going to come together, and they're actually going to discard those who have gone too far, and the GOP will be rebuilt from the bottom up, which is interesting. I haven't got a timeline on that, but it is positive. I do like to be positive. It is a positive outcome. Okay, that's enough. 37 minutes. Thank you for joining me today. Tomorrow I'll have a look at a few international things and we'll go from there. Take care. Look after yourselves. Love to you all. Stay above it. Stay sane. Observe, but don't get yourself involved in the murkiness. And do what you can. Get out and vote. Do what you can. Don't feel guilty that you can't do more. Love to you all. Take care. Bye-bye.